Welcome to the Fresno Football Club Match Day pregame show. This program is sponsored by Tioga Sequoia Brewing Company.
Hello and welcome to Fresno FC Match Day. I'm Nick King. Los Zorros extended that unbeaten streak to 7 games Saturday, although again, it was a draw. The 4th straight game that ended in a tie. And again, this was one that really felt like it should have been a Fox's win. Fresno FC played 11 against 10 from the 26th minute on in Phoenix and took the lead less than 2 minutes into the second half on a Jamal Johnson goal. That 1-0 score looked like it would hold until Phoenix Rising FC scored the equalizer in the 89th minute. Here's a look at those 2 goals and more of this week's key moments.
Fresno currently 2-4-1 on the season. Phoenix 3-2-1. 2 teams that very well could meet for Billy Forbes, but snuffed down in the end by Daly. And that's a nasty challenge from Amadou Dia. Going to get attention from Daly as well as the entire Fresno bench from Red Fury. And speaking of Red, Amadou Dia has just been sent off in the 26th minute.
But to be fair, folks, I'd be the first one to jump out here in defense of Amadou Dia, but he comes in late. Sure enough, it is going to be Cesares.
So it's Augustine Cesares who comes on. Jamal Johnson quickly back into play. Caceres. Great little move there from Cooper. Sends it across. It's Jamal Johnson. Fresno have their goal. The 10-man Phoenix Rising FC unravel at the start of the second half. Really well-worked goal from Fresno FC. It's Jamal Johnson's 3rd of the season. 1-0 lead for the visitors.
Alex Cooper, the outside back. Is he a midfielder? Is he a defender? He said he was going to play a vital role in the match.
Mike DeFont just lofting it forward. Root one time for Phoenix. Asante sending it through. Here's Regi. Phoenix equalize in the 90th. Down a man, but not out. Terrific stuff from the home side at the death. Solomon Asante created this.
Well, the ball, the 40-yard ball on a dime to Solomon Asante, and to have the vision.
Joined now by the head coach, Adam Smith. Adam, 7 straight without the loss, but again, the match in Phoenix won where you had to have felt like, man, we should have won that game.
Yeah, for sure. Everybody knows it. We all know it. It was right there. It was in our hands. It just shows you that, at this level, you've got to concentrate for 90 plus minutes. It's got to be whatever injury time there is, overtime, whatever, you need to keep focus and concentration. To be fair to Phoenix, they kept grinding away and they made a couple of substitutions. The guy that scored the goal, Regi, did very well for them. He was a bright player, quick, sharp, caused some problems, made some good runs and got on the end of his goal, and they took it really well. So it's a hopeful ball forward, but the actual layoff and then the ball through to him was very, very good, and we reacted just slightly late, and it cost us.
It feels similar to Tulsa in the sense that it's a late goal, a late equalizer, but to me it felt the way they actually scored was very different than Tulsa. Did you see any correlation?
Yeah, we talked about, obviously we went through the video at Tulsa, we talked about the goal and the game, and we were completely out of shape for that goal, and we had the red card, we had players out of position, we were totally out of shape, so we adjusted that. If you look at the goal on Saturday, we were in great shape. I mean, we had our defensive shape, 2 banks of 4 and 2 guys ahead of them, and everybody was in the right slots, nobody playing out of position. That's an improvement, so that bit I'm pleased about. Now can we take it one stage further and obviously make sure the goal doesn't happen. But when a team's chasing the game like that, they're gonna just throw things forward and hope for the best, and it puts you under pressure.
Do you know how long you'll be without Juan Pablo?
It's not as bad as we first thought. It was obviously a terrible challenge, and it's always a blow when one of your star players is hurt, captain as well. But fortunately, there's no break, and it doesn't appear to be a lot of ligament damage. So we might get him back as early as next week. But I'll have to speak with the medical staff and see where we are and go from there.
First chance to play a team for the second time. How do you approach that?
It's kind of weird that we're playing them so quickly after playing them the first time. And it's a game that, at our place, we should have taken 3 points again. 0-0, we handled the team quite easily. And they had one clear-cut chance, but we had several chances and we didn't convert. So they'll know that. They'll remember that coming into the game. I do think that, as I said before, their result against Vegas will give them a lot of confidence. I think they'll be a lot more open than perhaps they were when they came to our place, and they like to attack down the wide areas, down through the midfield players in the wide areas, and try and miss out some lines and get forward as quick as possible. They're very good on the counter attack, so we're going to have to be very, very switched on. They're also good at winning first and second balls, so we're going to have to make sure that we win our 50-50 battles and we win the drop down balls. They're going to be key areas of the game, and we're going to have to look at trying to counter-attack positively as well. So it's going to be a hard game for us because they're going to take the game to us. It's their home, it's their fortress, so you would expect them to come at us, but we'll be ready for them, and no one knows how it's going to turn out. The irony is, if you get another tie out the game, it's a great tie on the road because it's a long way away to go against a good team. We were a very good team from last year, but we need to start turning some of these ties into wins to keep up with the pack. So.
Reminder, we want to make your fandom of Fresno FC a part of this show. We're searching social media for those hashtags: Somos Zorros, Built for Fresno, and We Are Foxes. We'll be using these kinds of pictures and videos heading into each commercial break.
The Fresno Football Club Match Day pregame show will be right back after these short messages. Welcome back to the Fresno Football Club Match Day pregame show. This program is sponsored by Tioga Sequoia Brewing Company.
Okay, it's been a couple weeks, but we have another analyst we brought in. Scott Alcorn coached Fresno Fuego from 2006 to 2015. Scott, what's it like watching games at Chancey Park as a fan now?
Oh man, first enjoyable. I haven't made any mistakes in the stands, that's for sure. No coaching mistakes from up there. It's been different. It's been a transition. There's a transition when you spend 30 years coaching, right? 9 years with Fuego and everything from high school to junior college and running clubs to not doing it. There's definitely a transition. Can be a little bit anxious at times, but I definitely this year with the Foxes I've been able to enjoy the games at Chancey or the road games on the TV. It's been fun.
And you've watched them all, 8 games in now. What are some of the things that have stood out to you about this team?
First thing is I think they're on par. I've seen a lot of good things. I think that the first thing I look at is the team taking on the personality of the coach. I think I've seen that. Their style hasn't really changed. It's improved.
So early in the season, it was the goals early in the game in the first couple minutes, and now 2 of the last 3 it's been at the end of the match.
Right.
Was there anything similar to you between the Tulsa goal that tied it late and the Phoenix goal that tied it late?
Yeah, I think for me is when you're in that situation, one team is strictly on a sense of urgency, which is Phoenix, right? You're in urgency to try to get a goal, to get the equalizer. The other team, which, the Foxes, you're in this situation to where there's adrenaline running, right? So you got this adrenaline versus urgency. And look, I think Alex is a great player, and he was probably right on that late goal in the Phoenix, and he was tight on his man. But there was some space in the middle of the field that somebody got a ball to their feet, and they were able to flick it on. And so, if everybody's tight, that goal doesn't happen. And if everybody's dropped off, then somebody's got to hit something from 25 yards out, and that probably doesn't happen, and they pick up 3 points.
You know, a lot of times in sports, you feel like you win a couple games that are close, you start to get confidence that you're always going to win those games. Do you ever worry in a situation like this that now every time it's a 1-goal game late that they're starting to get up in their heads about it?
Sure. As a coach, we worry about everything, right? We worry about who's officiating the game, who's healthy, who's not healthy, what happens when we're up 2-0 or when we're down 1-0. And so all those things are running through our head. I think at the end of the day, it's a player's game. I think I really believe that manager and coaches get way too much credit when we win and way too much blame when we lose. Those players have to sort that out. I think that's part of the maturity of a young team. And of course, if you can get away with a 1-0 win or score a late game for an equalizer or a game winner, that helps the morale in the locker room. And that's where that bonding takes place, not only on the field, but afterwards. And I think that's part of the maturity of a young team. And everybody snaps out of it at some point. And hopefully we snap out of it Saturday in San Antonio, for sure, as we get to play a team for the second time, right? That's a different thing to look at. So.
And hopefully we get you back on here, but is there anything else that, you know, after watching these 8 games, that you feel like you've noticed that you'd want to point out, good or bad or otherwise, about this team?
I think my opinion is they have a personality in how they play. I think we need to develop a toughness about us a little bit. I always say, I've said this for many years, and is that there's no I in team, but there is in win. Somebody's got to make something special happen, whether it's a tackle late in the game, getting pressure on that ball on that Phoenix kid that actually got the assist, or scoring a late goal, right? And so, you know, I think we're still, what I see is we're still developing that. There's no question that Juan Pablo Cafas is the guy, but somebody's got to show a little more toughness and a little more urgency inside the box, and then in the back line too. I think that'll develop over time, but those personalities for sure. So that's kind of what I see from the outside.
We would like to make you, the community, a big part of this show as well by sharing your social media posts from the matches and the hoopla before and after the matches.
The Fresno Football Club Match Day pregame show will be right back after these short messages. Welcome back to the Fresno Football Club Match Day pregame show. This program is sponsored by Tioga Sequoia Brewing Company.
Okay, now we're joined by Pedro Ribeiro. Pedro grew up in Brazil. Can you tell me about what life was like as a child?
There's a lot of soccer, a lot of samba, a lot of my family. I have a huge family, so a lot of barbecues, and it was an amazing childhood. I can't complain or ask for anything different than that. My family gave me the best of everything, and I'm very thankful for them.
When you think about playing soccer as a kid, what are those memories?
Ooh, a lot of pressure, a lot of good players, a lot of talent. As you know, in Brazil, it's very competitive. Soccer, futsal. I grew up playing futsal, which is the indoor soccer. And another thing that's very Brazilian is to play soccer on the streets, on the pavement. Bare feet, the 2 goals as your flip-flops, the Havaianas, they become goals. And I grew up playing a lot of that, so it was fun. It was a good time.
So you were telling me before we started recording here that you came to the United States for college, but before you came here, you hadn't even been playing soccer on an organized team for a little while.
Yeah, exactly. I was in 2007 when I graduated high school. I stopped playing organized soccer. At the time, I just wanted to go to college, get a degree, and kind of follow my parents' footsteps as PE teachers. I've always been involved in sports. I've always enjoyed it. And the scientific part, too, was something that I was very interested. So I was in college in Brazil and playing pickup games throughout the week, Sunday league on Sundays, which was also a good experience. I played against a lot of rough players, like older guys, so I learned a lot from them, even though it wasn't, you know, the best fields. There was barely any grass in most of the fields. So it tested your touches. So yeah, in 2010 I ended up coming to the US and to have the opportunity to study in a good college and play competitive soccer again.
So really from sometime in 2007 to 2010, Not playing on an organized team.
No, I wasn't. I was a lot of pickup games though. I never stopped playing like completely. I would play like sometimes 5-6 times a week, but it was just, you know, like friends from all over the place. Oh, we got a game tonight. Pedro, can you come? I said, of course, let's go.
And then went to school at Coastal Carolina, which is in South Carolina for anyone who doesn't know. And things went well enough there that let's stick around and give professional soccer in the United States a shot.
It was after my sophomore year. I got an All-American award, and we went pretty far in an NCAA tournament. So we got a lot of eyes, you know, from coaches from the MLS and coaches from the USL. And my college coach was a guy that has helped me a lot in my career. He was like, Pedro, you have a really good chance, and let's focus on the soccer in the next couple of years, and then we see what happens. So at the time, I was like, of course, like, you know, the childhood dream of playing professional came back to me, and I saw that as another opportunity, and I decided to follow it.
This could be a really broad question, but living in the United States, what were maybe your expectations coming in? How has the reality different from the perception maybe?
I mean, coming from Brazil, it was just, I saw it as a huge opportunity to be able to play organized soccer at a very decent level, which is the college level, and get a really good education. In Brazil, it's definitely not reality. You either pick soccer or any other sport, or you go to college or high school. Some kids just quit high school or elementary school because they're trying to play a professional sport. So for me, coming from it's a third world country that education is a huge problem there. For me, it was huge to come, be able to speak English, learn English, go into a different culture and experience new things, meet new people. So very grateful for the opportunity, and it has given me everything that I have right now.
How about something in the realm of music or food or movies or something like that? Is there something American that you like?
I love movies. My dad is a huge cinema fan. Like growing up, I watched all kinds of movies, westerns, and, you know, Godfather. Like he loved Al Pacino, so I grew up playing a lot of soccer and watching a lot of movies.
Is there something off the field that you're passionate about, or a secret skill that you have?
I would say when I college, I studied exercise and sports science, so that's another passion of mine. Like I said, I'm interested in the scientific part behind, you know, the human body and human development and physicality and taking care of your body. I'm also a huge coffee fan, so I drink a lot of coffee, and I've been reading a lot about it. I've been trying different things, you know, and so I drink coffee like 4 or 5 times a day. I don't know if that's good, but then I have a friend that's actually, he's roasting his own beans right now with his wife, so they've been using me to kind of try it out, and it's absolutely delicious, so I'm very happy about that.
Okay, last thing. I think people are still talking about the goal you had a couple weeks ago. That rifle, did that amaze you as much as it amazes everyone else?
I mean, it did amaze me for like the spot where the ball went in. It was really nice. It was probably like one of the best goals I've scored professionally. But since a little kid, I've always had a really good shot. I would say even when I was younger, my shot was even better. Funny story, when I was 12 years old, I was playing a tournament and I broke my hand. And my parents, like, they said that he needs to play. They put a cast on me, and I'll just come into games to take free kicks. Because I was just come in, because you could come in and come out like whenever you wanted. So I'll come in and just blast the ball to the goal. Sometimes I score, sometimes I didn't. I would just sprint out, get subbed out again. So it was something that I've always worked on, and I know it can get better, but I was very happy with the goal.
We would like to make you, the community, a big part of this show as well by sharing your social media posts from the matches and the hoopla before and after the matches.
The Fresno Football Club Match Day pregame show will be right back after these short messages. Welcome back to the Fresno Football Club Match Day pregame show. This program is sponsored by Tioga Sequoia Brewing Company.
Take a look at the Western Conference standings. Orange County SC moves into first with 16 points, one ahead of Sacramento Republic FC. Down in fifth, Phoenix Rising FC, one of 3 teams with 12 points. Fresno FC still just 1 point out of being a top 5 team, in 8th with 11 points. Los Zorros' upcoming schedule. Tonight's game at San Antonio FC here on Fox 26. Fresno FC returns home Wednesday, hosting Rio Grande Valley FC Toros. You can watch that on this TV 26-2. FFC back on the road next Saturday in Salt Lake City. That's on CW 59. Then home Wednesday the 16th for a Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup second round game. Opponent to be determined. 10 days later, May 26th, Foxes at Orange County SC. That game back on CW 59. And one more thing you should know, Fresno FC's merch store is now open. You can come down to the old Fresno B building in downtown Fresno at 1555 Van Ness. The team will have the store open from 12 to 6 p.m. Wednesday through Friday. And that is our show tonight. Thanks for watching and enjoy tonight's game.